Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just Said I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we finished off the Samurai questline from level 50 to 60. And today we're going to go and unlock and begin doing the Red Mage questline. By going over here. Oh, are you an adventurer? Please, you have to rescue my sister. Some horrible people tried to kidnap us outside the city gates. I managed to break free when a traveler stopped to help, but my sister never caught up to me. I will save her. You will? Thank you so much. Please hurry through the gate here and just keep going straight ahead. You're sure to find them. The traveler was some sort of mage, I think, but it was 1 against 5. Surely you couldn't stand against so many. Ba-da-ba. Right. Time to take my void scent onto the road. But don't touch me. Oh, you're not one of them. I hope you're ready for the style mage. The drip mage. And who might you be? I am me. You came to lend me your aid. My apologies. Had I not known? Had I but known, I would have spared you a villain or two. After all, you seem to share my distaste for those who would prey upon defenseless children. Aye, birds of a feather we are. I am Zruntia. That's a horrible name to deal with. A pilgrim of sorts. Might I know your name, friend? Lyn. Now why does that strike such a familiar chord? Excuse me, I just wanted to thank you for saving me. My pleasure, child. You are unharmed, yes? Good. Let us escort this brave lass to her sister then. Lead the way. Right. Gotta go back. Gotta go back to the freaking place. A flame reborn! I love the fact that they added this mountain to the game, and that you can just get, or like you could get it for free during the event. You can maybe still get it. I don't know. Either way, cool. I always wanted the Phoenix. You found her adventure. Thank you. We are very grateful for your kindness. I'm so scared. What do those terrible people want with us? You don't worry about them anymore, sister. The man in red defeated them all. You saw how he fought with spells and steel? He's one of those heroes Papa told us about, a crimson duelist, aren't you? I did not expect to hear that name this far south in Eorzu. And you are a crimson duelist, I knew it. If your papa is telling his daughters tales of red mages, then he must be from Malamigo, yes? Well, that would explain his choice of bedtime stories. Now, shall we see your lasses home? We'll be alright from here. Thank you again. And away they skip, safe and happy. Now, Lyn, was it not? I believe we've earned ourselves a celebratory drink. You need not feel compelled, my friend. Should the mood strike you over, you'll find me staying over at Blackbrush Station. I find the ale served at the coffin and coffin most agreeable. Okay. Follow that cat man. Teach me your ways. Catman of the drip. You know what? Red Mage is gonna be called Drip Mage now. I'm gonna call it Drip Mage. We'll see how long that will last. You. Ah, you came, and it so happens the mother of those girls tracked me down and insisted I accept the reward. Once I mentioned you might be stopping by, she left a token of gratitude for you as well. It seems we assisted an affluent merchant family. A revelation, which might explain the attempted kidnappings. Hefty ransom and all that. I'm told the girls were immediately assigned a capable bodyguard. However, so we can drink in peace knowing they are well protected. Oh, I've remembered whence I know your name. At first I did not think you one and the same, but I've heard of the Lin whose deeds are celebrated across the four nations of Eorzea. It was Adizé who first mentioned you to me. After the 10th or so time, some incident, I'd heard loudly wishing to have Lin's courage or Lin's strength. I became rather curious to meet you myself. Ah, how do I know the indomitable Adizé? Our paths crossed quite by chance. A fellow traveler met upon the road. Wait, okay, sorry. She expressed an interest in red magery and persuaded me to instruct her in the basics of the art. She proved a quick study in the arcane side of things, but fencing was something of a challenge. By the end of our lessons, however, she had learned to combine spellcraft with swordplay. When to cast from afar, when to lunge forward with a well-timed thrust. And what of you, my friend? Have you any interest in the art? I suspect you would make an exceptional red mage. I am deadly serious. A woman who would rush to the aid of a stranger's child without fear or hesitation is a woman I would trust with the power of red magic. But, even beyond that, I sense in you a kindred spirit. Be warned, however, that my style of teaching is a practical one. I will expect you to join me on my journey and assist me in aiding others. Accept those terms and I will bestow upon you the accoutrements of a red mage. Are you familiar with soul crystals? This particular stone is attuned to past wielders of red magics and will fill your mind with a firm foundation of technique. You need only reach forth your hand. Are you prepared to walk the path of the red mage? One word and the soul crystal is yours. You will not regret this decision, my friend. Gods above. For a moment there I thought you meant to refuse me. A host of red mages committed their memories to this gem, and now it is yours. Absorb the knowledge it contains, then we will discuss the finer points of red magic. Ah, but first I would give you that reward. Red Mage unlocked. Red Mage. Metal Gear. Right. We can go and open up this boy. Which will give us some basic Red Mage stuff. Can I please equip this? Thank you. Let's go and equip these. And then we have the balance gauge and an entire hotbar to deal with again. I will be right back. I gotta get some gear stuff. I'll just be back in a minute. Okay. I'm back, having fixed my little hotbar. And also, like, I have already, like, linked my glamour plate to this. This is not what it actually looks like. Because I need level 60 gear for 2 of the pieces. So, we will see the full glamour in its glory once we reach level 60. Anyway, for the moment, let us explain how Red Mage works. So once again, it starts at level 50, so you have everything from the get-go. You have a normal 1-2-3 combo that you can actually just perform. It's just a melee combo. Where you can do a 1, a 2, and a 3. However, this is only really used for, like, at a specific moment. Another little thing that Red Mage has... Yeah, I'm not gonna go through that, fuck it. Another thing that Red Mage has is the skill called Dual Cast. Whenever you finish a full cast of anything, so in this case, Jolt, the next spell that you cast will be instantly cast. So the way that it works is that Ver Arrow and Ver Thunder, which are black and white magic aspected, take a really long time to cast, but they do more damage. So the idea would be that you would do Jolt first, get a dual cast, and then you can cast the next thing. Then you can do a Jolt again, and you can get another dual cast, you can get the other one, and so on and so forth. You also have the AoE versions. However, the AoE versions are swapped around, where your Ver Arrow is and Ver Thunder. So your Thunder and your Arrow spells are instead the lower... my god, my mind is are the ones with the lower cast time, because then you have Scatter, which then has the 4-second cast. Now, another thing that I may have noticed, whenever I've been casting spells, I get these bars to fill up, which are either going to be black magic or black mana or white mana. Once you get 50 of those, basically any of these over here, like the first one requires 20 of both black and white mana, then 15, and then 15. So once you have 50, you can do a full combo, which does a lot of damage. Which also does magic damage, so like if you do it without the buff, you do physical damage, which means that it doesn't get buffed by your stats either, so there's also why it isn't as effective to do it, and basically you should not do it, is the consensus. Then another thing that you have, which is very cool about Red Mage, which a lot of people like to use, so you're casting, and then like suddenly you want to do your melee combo, then you can use Core, and you can go in. You can do your little combo. In the meantime, you can also use engagement to do a little extra damage, and then if you want to disengage, you can use displacement to get yourself backwards. Another little thing that happens every now and again when you use Ver Arrow and Ver Thunder, only the single target versions, is that they have a 50% chance to give you Ver Stone or Ver Fire ready. So, let me go and see if I can get this to pop. There we go. Whenever you have Ver Fire, it has the same cast time as Jolt, it just does more damage. So the idea would be that you would basically aim to make it so that you wouldn't have to cast Jolt. So you would cast Ver Fire or Ver Stone instead. So the things that we would then use, for instance, Acceleration for, the way that this works is that it ensures Ver Thunder and Ver Arrow trigger Ver Fire or Ver Stone. And it also increases the damage of Scatter. So you can either use this to insta-cast one of these two and get a guaranteed Ver Stone and Ver Fire, or you can use it to cast an increased Scatter, like a more powerful Scatter. So the idea would be that you would, in the beginning of battle, use Acceleration to immediately get one of your Ver Stones, so you don't have to cast a Jolt instead. Or the other thing that people tend to do is, instead of starting the battle off with casting Jolt, basically before the timer runs out, like before like the people start pulling, just do a hard cast of these, and you can keep going. I've in any case learned at some point that it is a really nice idea to try and make it so you don't have to cast as many Jolts. If you have to cast them, then so be it, but it is recommended to try and lower the amount of times that you have to cast Jolt. Later on, the tools that you get are, I think, more towards that. It's honestly, I found it a lot more easy to not have to think about all of that stuff. But since I had to like start thinking about that, it really started, honestly, screwing with me. I really started struggling with it, which is a little bit unfortunate, but like, so be it. I've also played a buttload of freaking Red Mage because I played it in an area that is gonna be unlocked in Stormblood. So once we get to that, we can then go and check that out. But yeah, that is basically how Red Mage works. So once again, I'm not like a tutorial channel. This is not a tutorial on how to play the job. It just gives you a general idea of how it works. I try to play the jobs that I play as best as I can, but I am not gonna claim as if I'm really good at it. One more move that I neglected to show off was Flesh, or Fleck. I do not know how this is pronounced. In any case, it's just an off-global cooldown, just something you can press every now and again, and does 460 damage, which is a pretty solid amount of damagios. The one thing that's really fun about Red Mage is your ability to get close to the enemy and jump away from it really quickly. That in combination with your cast times not being that bad. Your cast times are really fine, honestly. It doesn't take long to cast a spell, and when you've casted one, you can just spend like the rest of global cooldown time just walking around. So it gives you a lot of movement options and a lot of utility later on too. Oh, I see from the glint in your eyes that the Soul Crystal has surrendered its secrets. Welcome to the ranks of the Red Mages. The art we practice is born of noble origin. Its balanced and controlled energies were once used to stem the tide of destruction, and reclaim a future for the dispossessed. I speak of the age, some 1500 years past, when the clash of two sorcerer civilizations brought about the sixth umbral calamity. Ere the great floods rose, people fled from their homes and into the mountains of Kiribania. Even mages of Mak and Andapur were to be found amongst the refugees. These wizardly practitioners became targets of retribution for the part they played in upsetting the natural balance, and soon did they shed their robes of black and vestments of white. If people were to survive and rebuild, following the disaster however, they would need power of the arcane. Thus were the principles of black and white magery reinvented, and upon their combined foundation an entirely new discipline was built. Red magic. But I've prattled on about the history of it for long enough. Far better that you experience red magic firsthand. There remains the mystery of who sent the kidnappers after those poor girls, and I've a feeling attempts to unearth the culprit will provide the battle practice you require. Before we plunge into the fray, however, there are questions I would ask. Come with me to Eastern Thailand, to the Church of Saint Adama Landama. Fly, my beautiful dragon, that is not where I need to go. Wait, is it just like in a different area? Wow. Wow. My mind was just homing in on the freaking fates. So I've been grinding them way too much the last time. Yes, just an undetermined amount of time. Well, there you are. I would introduce you to Father Iliud, but I believe the two of you are already acquainted. Zrun told me a tale of nefarious spellcasters in their attempt to kidnap two young girls. And you wish to ask if this thaumaturgical cabal is known to me? Yes? There are several such cults which come to mind, but I must have more detail. You say each member shared some rather unusual traits? Aye. Not one word spoken over the entire exchange. Not one shift in expression when I urged them to yield. Each of them also appeared branded with some manner of tattoo. A sigil pulsing with arcane energy. An evil practice. Such cursed sigils are known to destroy the will of the bearer, resulting in a biddable puppet which acts in much the manner you have described. There is no salvation for such wretched creatures. We must seek the fiends who pull their strings. Pray learn what you can of this cabal and its purpose, Father. Lynn, we have another task to attend to. Might I suggest some light stretching before you step outside? You'll soon understand why. Right, and then the game is like, hey, you should learn this thing. Give me one moment, though. There we go. Needed to type something. Proceed. Did you notice we were being followed, Lynn? The very cabal we are investigating seems to have taken an interest in us. I sense an ambush in the offing. Do they seek to silence us, perhaps? Well, let them try. This will be the perfect opportunity for you to test your newly acquired skills. But first, a brief lesson. The Red Mage's spells belong to two distinct schools, rooted as they are in the ancient disciplines of black and white magic. Intertwined, they form the solid core of red magic, and through the balanced casting of both principles can a red mage build this foundation higher and higher. When your strength has reached its peak, that is when you lunge forward and unleash the energies thrumming within your blade. And then you leap away, returning to the first step. It is a dance, my friend. Come out, wherever you are. We have no intention of running or hiding from you. I wear a sword, as you can see, but I am not partial to violence. Is there no chance we might attempt a parley in lieu of bloodletting? Oh, unsettling. Well then, it seems you will have your battle. Remember what I have taught you. And my cat's gonna maneuver underneath my microphone and bump it all the way around. So like I can change it, otherwise I can't see my freaking screen. It's empty Magus. And now this guy's gonna try to teach me how to be a red mage, but man, do I know how to be a red mage. I mean, not a perfect red mage, mind you, but definitely good enough. Yeah, sure, I can do it. Another AoE. Even though AoE tends to be a thing, you would have to do it, but 3 or more targets tends to be the moment to use that. Jesus, stop doing that, cat. It's like, you know what she suddenly did, which made that reaction out of me? She fucking extended her claws into my t-shirt onto my nipples. So yeah. Thank you, but no. These puppets must have a leader lurking nearby. Let us take the battle to our ambusher, shall we? But before we resume the hunt, let us be sure of your technique. As Red Mage, you are capable of casting 2 spells in rapid succession using what is known as the dual cast effect. Intone a short spell and you will find that a lengthy incantation can now be cast in an instant. Take advantage of this technique to bombard your foes with arcane destruction. Ba, ba, ba. Right. Bloodshot heck the eyes, nice. The heck the eye, boys. It has been a long time since I played Red Mage, honestly. Like, yeah, this is gonna be interesting when I go through Stormblood, just because I'm mainly gonna be playing Samurai and Red Mage. So it's gonna be intriguing because I've played a lot more Samurai than Red Mage lately, which is ridiculous. Because before, that was like Samurai was one of the jobs I played the least. Not for any particular reason, mind you. Actually, I mainly like once I get like to higher levels with Samurai, I couldn't really keep up anymore properly. But I've now learned how to deal with that, so that is a non-issue anymore. Mind you, it is still difficult to keep up for me, but I can deal with it, so that's fine. You don't always have to finish one of these combos, depending on like if your enemy is gonna last long enough or something. I don't know. I just do whatever the hell I want, really. Hello, empty Archmagus. Or Archmagus, whatever. You're just gonna call some freaking creature from the void because, of course. What else would these freaking things? What else would Black Mage kind of looking dudes do? Or Thaumaturge is ready. If it weren't so horrifying. Or so horrified. If I weren't so horrified. That's good. I like that. I think I got hit with that, yeah. No. No, I'm slowed! No. Son of a bitch. Couldn't avoid becoming small. That is even smaller than before. Interesting that it does like similar moves to the servers from Crystal Tower. Anyway, died. Well done then, you have exceeded my expectations. Which is a fortunate thing, for I did not anticipate the arrival of that fearsome hound. These mages were willing to forfeit their own lives to ensure that we lost ours. What is my cat doing? What's the problem? Hey. You see the brand on her left cheek? This is the accursed sigil which stole her will, and left her vulnerable to the most heinous of commands. Our ambushers were young men and women, every one, all transformed into mindless pawns by some hidden master. And this master was shown no compunction against sacrificing pieces that outlived their usefulness. No, this cannot stand. Heed me, Lyn. You have begun your education in red magic, but there is much more I would teach you. Come, let us return to the Lich Yard. Know you the history of these graves? The church's Lich Yard is the final resting place for many victims of the 7th Umbral Calamity. Red magic was conceived to stem such tides of destruction, in an age when the abuse of sorcery flooded the world with death. Its distinction from earlier disciplines is key. Most practitioners of black and white magic draw upon an ambient ether. A red mage weaves her spells using only the reserves of mana with which she was born. In the era in which red magic was created, to do otherwise was forbidden. To manifest more powerful effects, the first red mages adopted a method by which precise sword techniques would harness and amplify the energies of their spoken incantations. The mage's own physical form serving as an arcane accelerator, an ingenious way of preserving their self-imposed limitations. Understand that the blade we wield is not simply a weapon. It is the focus of all our efforts to lessen strife and suffering. Every generation of red mage is part of an unending battle. We are soldiers who fight for those enduring violence and subjugation, the bulwark against the unkind vagaries of fate. 20 years ago, I joined the revolutionaries in Alamigo, and learned red magic alongside like-minded companions. We formed the Crimson Duelists, and together we rose up against the tyranny of the Mad King Theodoric. We were crushed. All of the duelists, only I survived to watch our homeland languish under the rule of imperial invaders. Even after leaving Alamigo, I never ceased fighting for its liberation. And when I learned of the calamity, of the threat to all the lands of Eorzea, I allied myself with the valiant scholars of Sharlayan. In the end, I was unable to protect my homeland, or halt the approach of fiery disaster. But never once in all these years have I betrayed the oath the duelists swore to champion the weak with heart and steel. Such is the nature of the magic you will learn from this idealistic fool. If you would master the sword, however, then my road shall become your road for the duration of your studies. I will remain here at the church for the time being, and be a pest to the good Father Iliud until we uncover the origins of this cult. Your only chore shall be to reflect upon the lessons of the day and prepare for our next encounter. Okay. And yet again, I will go and grind XP off camera and level up. And I'm back. A couple of days later, because I decided that I wanted to just level it all up to 60 and not have like any recording breaks in between, so I can just do the quest in a row, so I don't have to think too much about it. So the next quest that we're going to be doing of the Red Mage quest line is a level 52 quest. And another thing that happens at level 52 is I get Molinet? Moyenet? I think it's just Molinet. I don't know. There's probably a correct way to pronounce this, but I don't have it. Anyway, it delivers an attack with potency of 60 to all enemies in the cone in front of you, and it will upgrade to Enchanted Molinet, Jesus, which is this boy over here, which then does a potency of 130 to all enemies in a cone in front of you. However, it does require 20, so the normal combo, if you have 50 black and white mana, you can do the normal combo, the single target one. But if you want to do 3 hits with an AoE, you would have to have 60 this time around. So you'd have to have 10 extra black and white magic. Or black and white mana. Anyway, since I reached level 70, I also managed to equip the glamour that I wanted to equip on Lyn, because I needed to have level 60 gear for that. So now that is also ready to go. How fares your trading, my friend? I imagine you have grown quite accustomed to the shift between spellcraft and swordplay by now. I will continue to instruct you, but as I have said before, practical experience will serve you far better than any tiresome lectures. It is important that you treat every battle as an opportunity to learn. Speaking of which, Father Iliud mentioned that he had something he wished to discuss regarding our sigil-branded ambushers. Let's head inside, shall we? I was wondering why the game was so quiet, but I almost muted my microphone. I like my headset. I'm ashamed that it did not occur to me earlier, but I recall an incident that may be connected to this dreadful cult. A merchant's son was kidnapped in Ul'dah some moons ago. When a merchant came to pay the ransom, however, both father and child were murdered. The perpetrators of this terrible act were never unmasked, but evidence at the scene suggests the two were slain by thaumaturgy. What is more, this merchant was a native of Alamigo. Is this not also true of the father of the girls you rescued? Why, he is Alamigan born, a man by the name of Wilkin, so his wife told me. Could he have been the true target of the kidnappers? We must speak with Master Wilkin at once. There are too many similarities in these cases to ignore, and I would not put it past his cult to make a direct attempt on his life. In anticipation of such action, I inquired after Master Wilkin's trading itinerary. It seems he is presently conducting business at the Manderville Gold Saucer, delivering stock for game prices or some such. Very resourceful of you, Father. Thank you. Come, Lyn, the Gold Saucer awaits. Also, there's a cat in between my lap and my microphone. So, I can just go to the gold saucer like this. Get a load of this. I still don't really know what weapon I'm going to give Lynn, in all honesty. I think it's probably just going to be the... let's see, over here. It's probably just going to be the artifact weapon. Basically the one that he's using. My apologies, Lynn. I neglected to ask if you were a patron of these halls, but we are here now. And Master Wilkin is still occupied with his trade. I am tempted to eavesdrop on his dealings, to learn what manner of man we are saving. Let us play the part of happy gamblers and wander by his meeting in the Manorville Lounge. Just look for the wonderfully hideous golden statue. Oh, gold saucer. May you never change. Only expand. Expand saucer. There's our Master Wilkin. Or Wilkin. Thank you again. We'll make the most of this gift, I promise you. Back straight and heads up now, lad, or folk will become suspicious. You've done naught wrong. Besides, the coin is fair gotten and freely given. I had to think of youth, and I saw this guy, I was like, oh wait. The young man he was talking to, he's known to be one of the lads belonging to the Alamegan Resistance, if I'm not mistaken. Well, this is clearly more than some simple business deal, but why waste time on suppositions when we can speak with the merchant himself, eh? Wow. Mr. Son and Master Xrun, glad am I for this chance to thank you in person for the kindness you showed my daughters. Father Iliud sent word to expect you. He also mentioned that the danger to my family is not yet past. You suspect that I have been marked for assassination? Why? Have you an idea of the why? Say, retaliation for funneling funds to the Alamegan Resistance under the guise of standard business dealings? Oh, I thought as much. I recognized your client as one of the young freedom fighters I'd seen in Girabania. No, rest assured that your secrets are safe with us. I myself have spent the better part of my life aiding the resistance. Your dealings do, however, seem to have drawn some rather unpleasant attention. Very well, you saved my children's lives, and so I will trust you with the truth. Many Alamegan refugees are employed here at the Gold Saucer, in no small part due to the wishes of the establishment's owner, Lord Godbert Manorville. Several of these employees have direct ties to the resistance, the young man you saw being one such conduit. As to why I meet them here, well, it is a matter of hiding the trees within the forest. There was another incident not so long ago where the son of an Alamegan-born merchant was kidnapped by a cadre of mages. When the father attempted to pay the ransom, the fiends slew both parent and child. I fear the scenario was one they hoped to repeat with you. Yes, terrible turn of events that was. I did not know the merchant personally, but I knew of his efforts. He too was said to have supported the resistance with the fortune he made in Ul'dah. And there we have our connection. They seek to eradicate resistance sympathizers. I sense the hand of the Empire behind Escabal. Ah, but the assassins themselves favor magic, so they are unlikely to be native guardians. The puppeteer could very well be a hired killer, or mayhap a recruit from a subjugated province. We shall learn the truth in due time. For now, however, we must take steps to keep you alive. Lord Manorville is a member of the Syndicate, and the Gold Saucer is his domain. Striking at me here would be difficult, to say the least. I do, however, have pressing business to attend to Vesper Bay in the coming days. Vesper Bay, eh? Given its peculiar approach, I can think of a dozen places from which assassins could stage an ambush. Might you entrust your safety to Lynn and me? Together we will prove more than a match for any ambushers, and it would also afford us a greater insight into our foe. You certainly appear capable, huh? I will gladly accept your protection. Then it's settled. Let us travel ahead to Vesper Bay and scout out the area. I like how there was absolutely no music for that entire cutscene. I guess this music would be a little ridiculous in that sense. Good, you're here. Master Wilkin has begun his overland trek from Eldar. Before he left, I asked the good merchant to discuss his travel arrangements with less than his usual discretion. Assuming the assassins have eyes and ears on their targets, we can assume they will have moved to occupy the most favorable ambush sites. Now, if I were intent on murdering a lone traveler, I would choose one of two options. The first being the alleys here in Vesper Bay, and the second being the long dark tunnel leading into the town. I propose we split up and secure both areas. I will take the back streets, and you can have the old mining shaft. Sweep the tunnel clean of ambushers, and then meet me back here when you are sure the route is safe. Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Alright. Good old assassins. Yep. Defeated their ambush, did you? Well done. As you can see, they had a second group waiting in the wings. Your opponents were the same mute attackers as before, yes? I pity these cursed pawns, but we cannot let mercy stay our hands. They are a little different from the Walking Dead, and no art can restore them. I did, however, allow one to escape my blade. On purpose, of course. He seemed eager to disengage, and so I obliged. He limped off towards the coast. But with the wound I gave him, he'll not have fled far. I will track this last assassin to his destination. Pray remain here and greet Master Wilkin. He should be arriving through your secure tunnel any moment now. Ah, Mr. Slit, here I am, and with nary a scratch upon my person. My deepest thanks. You have saved my family, and for that I can never truly repay you. But I must at least try. Pray share this gift with Master Zrun. My supplier will be waiting, and so I must take my leave of you. May Nod enrich you and bless your endeavors. Nod. We've had a stroke of luck. The man I followed leapt into the sea and was fished out by others in a rowboat. Last saw them making for a merchantman anchored out in the bay. Considering the absence of fear, I must assume the one who fled has been commanded to report the outcome of the ambush. If he can identify the ship, then we will be one step closer to unmasking this vile puppeteer. And then we can... Another token from the esteemed Master Wilkin. Token of gratitude from the old down merchant Wilkin. How kind that he seeks to reward us. Ah, and there is a note here as well, addressed to his boss. You have my eternal gratitude. Twice now has my life been saved by red mages, and twice by one in particular. Mayhap you remember the day 20 years ago when the Crimson Duelist fought to save the life of a child. I remember you, Master Zrun, for your scarlet garb was forever etched into my memory. It's a strange feeling to be recognized for a decades-old deed. Had he not known me, would he have been so ready to place his life in our hands, I wonder? Aside from a few wrinkles, I suppose I have changed little in my appearance. I was clothed thus when we worked to evacuate our fellow Alamegans. Even as a homeland we grew crumbled around us. But in the end it is the lives that matter, not the place. Regardless of these circumstances, a red mage must strive to achieve the greater good. Or the greatest good. So I have always believed. Our actions are our own reward. But a little acknowledgement does wonders to sustain one's faith, right? Right, and then we get the level 54 quest. Let's see. At level 54, we learn Vercure, which is a spell that cures It's just a cure spell. With a cure potency of 350, the handy thing, however, with Vercure, as opposed to like Physic on Summoner, is that this actually scales off of your intelligence, as opposed to your mind. The problem with like Summoner is that it scales off of your mind stat, which is horrible as a casting DPS, so that makes that heal kind of worthless. Well, Vercure is not amazing, but it can definitely help out in a pinch, if you need to keep yourself alive. I've asked some friends of mine in the Signs of the Seventh Dawn to keep an eye out for that ship. We should know if the assassins seek to enter any of the major ports. Ah, my Lanosian contact. Aye, this is Rune. And they're still there? Excellent, thank you. It seems the assassin's merchantman has been spotted sailing into Aleport. Come, we have no time to lose. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Okay. I keep wanting to like read this as tracking the cable instead of tracking the Cabal. Okay, now before we continue though, I'm going to do something else first. So I will be right back. After some time, which you definitely cannot follow. My apologies for dragging you halfway across the realm, but I did promise you a journey. Now, as for the merchantman, I'm told it's anchored a short distance offshore. We need to know more about the connection between this ship and our foe. They have simply paid for passage, but there's something about that vessel. I say we wander the port and see what gossip there is to be had. Gimme that gossip, baby. So, the merchantman would just sailed in. I don't know baggery about it, not even a breeding name. All I know is her crew is about as lively as a cabin full of corpses. It ain't natural. There's a rumor going around that the Yellow Jackets take an interest in their dealings, so I'd rather keep me distance, in or out. Aye, I'm finished answering your questions, now off with you. Dallying deckhand. Nay, me lass, I've not much to tell you about that ship. They say she's a trading vessel that brings goods from battle to hand, but their crews are subtle enough. Asking a friendly question about what they were hauling got me caught, but nothing got me naught but blank stares and silence. Okay. That ship's not but trouble, you mark me words. I've mates would swear they've seen her pulling alongside Imperial vessels. Only the gods know what's hiding in that hold of hers. Could be weapons, could be prisoners. Just the blatant sight of her makes my whiskers twitch. Y'all got whiskers? Where's that option in the character creator? Were you able to learn out of interest? Strange crew. Mystery cargo. Ship's name unknown. I've heard much of the same. I'm beginning to think that our assassins use the vessel as a floating base. With no permanent camp on land, it would certainly be easier to avoid attention of local forces, not to mention curious adventurers. I also spoke with an acquaintance in the Yellow Jackets, and he confirmed to the ship's official status as a trader to and from Radz-at-Han, even if rumors of her dealings with Guardian agents in open water are rife. So long as the merchantman appears to trade within the law, however, officials are reluctant to force their way on board and cause an incident. They've yet to uncover enough evidence, it seems. Well, if a solid reason to investigate is lacking, then mayhap we should help them find one, eh? Let's have ourselves a look in some of their crates on the docks. Just a little innocent curiosity is all. Speaking like a little bugger. Mystery cargo. The crate contains a cerulean tank of Imperial design. You are under attack. It feels really weird. I just did like all the roulettes as a warrior. I have to get used to this now. Oh. How did your investigations fare? I found a veritable bounty of military supplies, cerulean tanks, Imperial rations, Imperial insignias on everything. The authorities will be most interested to hear of this, I'll wager. What's that you have there? Large key dropped by a sigil-scarred assassin. Well, dropped by one of the ship's crew members, you say, and I just so happened to have found the most inconveniently locked box. I should go and relay our findings to the Yellow Jackets. I'm sure you'll think of some use for that key of yours. You hear a faint groan coming from inside the box. Well. Where am I? Was I sleeping? In a box? What an odd thing for me to do. Does a girl have a name? Don't you remember anything? Of course I... Oh, perhaps not. No, wait, I remember something. Arya. My name is Arya. I think. Is it? It's a lovely name. You think so? I suppose it will do for now. And what does a girl call you? Lynn, I'll try to remember that. Thank you for letting me out. What happened here, is Artemis? This last was inside the box? I might suspect a stowaway, but it was more likely she was kidnapped. The people who took you may be lurking nearby. We should probably put some distance. Come now, you needn't fear me so. Lynn, please say something reassuring, would you? He's as gentle as a kitten. Yes, if you say so, Lynn, then I suppose it must be true. Well, you seem to have made a new friend. Let's see about arranging some lodgings for now. And we can discuss where to go from there. I am a dragon. The poor girl was asleep within moments. This entire ordeal must have left her exhausted. As for the result of our efforts with the cargo, I suggest we continue this conversation outside. I presented our findings to the Yellow Jackets, and the evidence was indeed sufficiently damning to spark a full-scale investigation. Regretfully, it appears the assassins caught wind of the coming storm. A squad of soldiers was dispatched to the docks only to witness the merchantman sailing away with all hands on board. Not quite the outcome we'd hoped for, but at the very least they'll no longer find a warm welcome in Eorze's ports. The other issue we face now is what to do with young Arya. Her breathing carries a faint aroma, carries a faint aroma that may account for her memory loss. I suspect she was subjected to a certain incense which, when inhaled, can cloud a person's mind. The next step was likely to brand her with one of those vile sigils, and effect the permanent destruction of her free will. It was fortunate that you released her when you did. Arya remains muddled, but her condition should improve with time. And once her memories have returned, we can learn exactly what she is, and, just as importantly perhaps, the circumstances which led to her capture. Alright, so then we have the level 56 quest, which will be the final one I'll do in this episode, I think. At level 56, we learn Contre Sixt. Or Sit? I don't know. Anyway, this is basically flesh, or fleck, whatever. Flesh. The flesh. But then an AoE version. So 380 to the target and all nearby enemies, which is a pretty solid, like, off global cooldown. Just as though you can just weave it in between your spells. It's really nice. I have spoken with Arya, but it seems her memory has yet to return. The incense used must have been potent indeed to create such a lasting fog. If she cannot recover naturally, then we must rely on some familiar sights or even event to jolt her senses back to normalcy. Might I ask you to take her out somewhere to test my theory? She seems far more comfortable around you, after all. At the very least, I would know from when she hails. Yes. I shall call once more upon my acquaintance in the Yellow Jackets. Surely she has family who are searching for her. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Lynn, thank you again for letting me out of that crate. I had such a lovely sleep. That awful tiredness has left me, but I still can't seem to remember anything. Outside? Well, yes, I suppose a fresh breeze might help to blow away the cobwebs. I think I'd like to see the view from the battlements. Will you join me up there, Lynn? I love this sheep. It's an adorable little sheep. Perfectly round, fluffy. Look, isn't it beautiful? I've never seen anything so... Is this really the first time I'm seeing this view? I tried to remember, but my mind is a blank page. I can be sure of nothing. We will make you new memories. I forget such things myself. Lynn, have you lost your memory as well? Or, no, you just mean you're forgetful, don't you? I appreciate you trying to make me feel better, I honestly do. I'd much rather laugh than brood over what I've lost. I think I'll stay up here a while longer, just to be sure I'll remember it tomorrow. Oh, do you see that ship? How did it keep such a massive things afloat? I love ships, are you? Why yes, I am. I think I might always have been. What an insightful question. I remember when I was a child, I would always beg my uncle to... Oh, I remember I had an uncle. He was my only family. He tried to protect me, but... Forgive me, the exact events are still a jumble, but the memory was not a pleasant one. That day, it's all coming back in a rush. Do you think you might return to the inn? I need a moment or two. Okay. As I fly with my raging behemoth. I hate the fact that this is like just barely too high to just walk up. The Yellow Jackets were able to dig up a report on Arya from their records, and I hurried back to share the news, but seeing as her memory of the incident has returned, I'd rather hear the tale from the source, as it were. From what I can recall, I'd always lifted my uncle. He was a kind, gentle man, who would often tell me stories of my parents. I was young when they died. Too young to remember, I think. The report mentioned that you were citizens of Limzalaminza. Do you remember where you were when the attack came? Yes, we were on the road to somewhere. The ambushers appeared as if from thin air, and my uncle stepped forward to shield me. They killed him. What happened after that is a blur, but my memory of that moment is crystal clear. Thank you, Arya. You didn't force yourself to remember the rest. For now, we must concern ourselves with your future. It would not be charitable to send you back to town alone, especially not with significant parts of your memory still missing. Yet we cannot ask you to accompany us either. Our journey leads us on a path to confront the very cabal whose violent embrace you have but recently escaped. I would go with you, even so. You saved my life and helped me accept the loss of my past. If there's a chance my memories could return and lead you to these villains, then I would stay at your side. How can I refuse such passion, since we've adopted a new companion, Lynn? The greatest challenge facing us now, however, is deciding on our next destination. The Emergent Man is fled, and we know not whither it is bound. Isles of Umbra. I remember, they were the only words I heard him speak before I blacked out. Isles of Umbra, the Master calls. Or the Master calls. His puppets cannot speak idly. Ready yourself, Lynn. We cross to the Isles of Umbra, and confront this master of theirs. You as well, Arya. Or Arya, we fight together. Bah. Arya. Are you ready, kids? Who lives at a pineapple under the sea? Bob Le Punch. Oui, oui. So much reading. But even more flying. Even though I could have actually taken a boat, come to think of it, but oh well. We met some soldiers tell of a steady stream of tight-lipped arrivals. It would seem the master gathers all the marionettes to the isles. I armed Arya with what I had, but I can fight. Fight? You can barely talk, lass. I thought her afraid of the mages who took her, but nay. is the thought of ghosts and ghouls which have her all a tremble. Can you blame me? The very ground here feels haunted, as if angry spirits might burst forth at any moment. Like that shadowy thing behind you? Wah! There's not there, lass. Now, can we get a move on, or would you rather head back to Airport? I'm coming with you. Now the Cabal has gathered here, we need only find them. I guess I'll kill them. Or well, just random ass freaking ghouls. There we go. If no business with the dead, come along, they say, but I think these guys are just gonna attack me regardless, right? Yeah. No point in trying to avoid them, because the rest of this day, someone has riled to them against us. Nope, I don't like this place at all. Did I just hear like a whoa? Yeah. Take to the Legas. Where are they holding back? Hello there, empty Archmagus. Arg mages. Archmagus. This guy, yeah, they usually sacrifice their life. Fear Gorda. Scream of the dead. You are dead. Entropic flame. More screams of the dead. Of course, he was still invulnerable. Fuck you. Adios. The hand that controls these assassins cannot be far. Let's split up and search, shall we? Yell if you run into trouble. Delectable. Oh no, it's a dark mage. Your mortal frame brims with vital energies. An irresistible feast. Or is this just avoids him? I do not know. Lynn, are you unarmed? Lambert? A pleasure to see you, Isrune. My, how the years have etched themselves upon your brow. Smirking bastard is Lombard. We were allies once. Ah, yes, the valiant Crimson Duelists. Such fond memories. I relished their slaughter. Duelists live on through me, traitor. Not for long, my old friend. You shall soon share their fate. Lynn. Oh yeah, fireball, baby. Crude interruptions. This is not how I wish to savor your defeat. Nice backflip, buddy. Lambert, gods damn you. Another cutscene? Yes, no? I never know. Yes, another cutscene. You knew that man? Yes, we'll speak of it later. First, I would know where you learned to cast spells like that. I don't remember anyone teaching me, it just sort of happened. It just sort of happened? I expected you to club things with that old scepter, not fling balls of fire. Incredible. So, Arya, does this mean you've overcome your fear of the undead? What are you? Ah! Well, my friends, shall we return to Elport? Now that we've unmasked the Cabal's master, I can tell you this much. He's not a man we wish to confront unprepared. Dum, dum. Right. As was apparent through our unpleasant exchange, I have a history with this master of the assassins. His name is Lambard. 20 years ago, he and I were part of the group who founded the Crimson Duelists. We studied the fated teachings passed through generations of Girabanians, and revived the art of red magic as a weapon against tyranny. But one day, Lambert simply snapped. He murdered my unsuspecting comrades and vanished into the shadows. I returned from scouting alone to discover the aftermath of a massacre. It was later that I learned of his treachery had been paid for with imperial coin, but never could I find what became of the man himself. After 20 years of fruitless searching, I thought him dead. This has now become a matter of vengeance. I mean to pursue Lambard and exact a price for his betrayal, but I will not ask you to join me in this vendetta. Were not, Lynn, your grasp of red magic will allow you to grow without the need for a teacher. As for you, Arya, I will arrange a suitable sanctuary. I'll not turn you out to fend for yourself. I shall treasure the time we spent together, my friends. May our paths cross again. Should we just let him go off like that? I don't know about you, but I feel my part in this is not over. Yes, Lynn? Was there something else? There's more for me to learn. There always is, but you're far enough along the path to continue without me. Surely you understand that. You're determined to improve yourself, I see. It's obvious why Alizé spoke so highly of you. Very well, we stand together then. You are more comrade to me now than student, Lynn, and I welcome your sword at my side. Whatever. I'm coming too. I want to help save others from this monster just as you saved me. I want you to teach me red magic. As things stand, I'm just a burden to you. If I'm to do more than to be carried along in your wake, I need my own way to make a difference. You certainly do have an aptitude for the arcane. Lambert appears to target such use for recruitment into his puppet cabal. But Lyn rescued you from that mindless fate, and now you would don the red to fight in our crusade. There's a sense of rightness to it, isn't there? Stand with us then, Iria. Join the ranks of the Red Mages. Lyn, Throne. You look splendid, but it's more than clothes which make the woman. Help me train her, as I trained you, Lyn. I'll pay close attention, I promise. Oh, and Iria, there'll be no more hiding behind Lyn, is that clear? I'll try to be brave. And completo. So, my friends, with that, I'm gonna end it off over here. Hope you enjoyed this episode of just how I was playing Final Fantasy XIV. That is... Why does this... Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next episode, where we are going to continue, and probably finish, most likely finish, the Red Mage questline, and depending on how much time I will have left, maybe start Stormblood. Actually, what am I talking about? Sorry, that was a lie. I still need to do all of the level 60... like the beginning quests of all the jobs, so we're gonna be doing some more job quests for a little bit more. Anyway, goodbye.